always on the go, and we get the stories firsthand as they happen, where they happen. We bring the information to you undiluted, verified, accurate, balanced, and without bias. Told from the human angle perspective. We interview the actors and the experts. All facts laid bare. From Nigeria to the rest of the globe, we deliver the news on time and in time. This is Globe File on Adamimogo 93.1 FM, Lekki, Lagos.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Globe File on Adamimogo 93.1 FM, Lagos. I'm Ayo Adekeye. Headlines: Shettima approaches unity, peaceful coexistence in Eid message. Hundreds of Ghanaians still leave South Africa today amid anti-immigration protest. Trump to meet cabinet, hints at breakthrough in US-Iran ceasefire negotiations. Now the news in detail. We begin from home, where Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on Nigerians to embrace national unity, peaceful coexistence for sustainable development under the administration of President Bola Tinubu. In his Eid message, the Vice President urged citizens to draw inspiration from the enduring values of faith, sacrifice, obedience, and compassion exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim. He particularly noted that the lessons of Eid Kabir remains vital to Nigerians' quest for stability, peace, and inclusive growth, assuring that the federal government is not detached from the reality of the people.
Most importantly, what binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us. The world itself is in turmoil occasioned by the war in the Middle East. The cost of living indices globally has risen. I wish to call on Nigerians to exercise patience and tolerance. Governments at all levels are poised to ameliorate the sufferings of the Nigerian people. Let there be peace in the land. And let's pray for peace not only in Borno, but in all the nooks and crannies of this country, in the Sahel zone of West Africa, and in the world at large.
Shettima assured that President Bola Tinubu is committed to addressing insecurity, stabilizing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding opportunities for citizens across the country. And still in Nigeria, former Rivers State Governor and presidential aspirant of the African Democratic Congress ADC, Rotimi Amechi, has rejected the outcome of the party's presidential primary election, describing the results as concocted. Amechi, one of the three contestants for the ADC presidential ticket alongside former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and economist Mohammed Ayatuddin, announced his position in a statement on X. Amechi said the ADC was founded on the premise of offering Nigerians a credible political alternative and warned against practices capable of undermining the party's integrity. The former governor's rejection of the exercise came hours after fellow aspirant Ayatuddin announced his decision to boycott the final collation and declaration ceremony in Abuja over alleged widespread irregularities. Now outside Nigeria, Ghanaian nationals queued at Johannesburg or Tambo International Airport earlier today to board one of the first flights after waves of anti-immigrant protests in South Africa heightened safety concerns. A group of 300 people, including women and children, what authorities describe as a voluntary repatriation process, are expected to leave the country today. Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kossie, said the departure were part of efforts to ease tension by preserving strong diplomatic ties between the two countries.
here we have something close to about 330. But unfortunately, the aircraft is going to take 300. There's another aircraft that leaves in a couple of days. That aircraft will also take the other persons from this weekend. This is a government that cares for its people. This is a government that believes that once citizens have challenges and they want to come back home, they come back home. This is a government that cares that none of its citizens should be maltreated. I think that in a nutshell, we are not having a diplomatic row. We have a government that is taking care of its citizens, and that should be the case.
South African authorities have also been working with Ghanaian authorities on a list of around 800 people who have indicated interest to return to Ghana. Now in South Africa, the African National Congress, ANC, has moved against Women's League President Sisi Tulashi, instructing her to resign as both a Member of Parliament and President of the Women's Wing. Reports say leaders agree that failing to act against Tulashi's alleged culpability in a misconduct would destroy whatever credibility the ANC still has. The ANCWL is now expected to hold urgent discussions over Tulashi's exit as fears mount over instability and factional battles inside the league. The move comes just weeks after President Cyril Ramaphosa fired her as Minister of Social Development amid explosive allegations that 2 luxury utility vehicles donated to the party by Chinese officials were allegedly registered in the names of adult children. Listening to Globe File and Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos. Still to come. Trump to meet cabinet. He said breakthrough in US-Iran ceasefire negotiations.
You can listen to Adami Mogo 93.1 FM from any part of the world. Download the Adami Mogo 931 FM app from Google Play Store and Radio Garden. And follow us on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have eyewitness stories or exclusive to share, contact the Adami Mogo FM newsroom via mail at newsroom@adamimogofm.com. Or you can dial 070-634-03583. You can dial 090-319-69629. Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos, voice of the light.
Thank you for staying with us, and now to the rest of our stories. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to meet with his cabinet today, a day after Secretary of State Marco Rubio implied that a ceasefire deal was in sight. Trump has said that an agreement was largely negotiated, but that the final details remained in flux. From the Iranian side, the Revolutionary Guard told Iranian media that the probability of renewed hostilities was low. Deputy Political Chief of the IRGC Navy, Mohammed Abulteze, said the possibility of war is low because of the enemy's weakness, confirming that the armed forces are lying in wait with full magazines. It remains to be seen if the Trump administration will actually gain anything significant from the deal, as a key part of the deal is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which will return all things to status quo from before the war. A related development, South Korea's foreign ministry says it will summon the Iranian ambassador after investigations reveal an attack on a cargo ship operated by a local shipper HMM in the Strait of Hormuz was likely involved in an Iranian anti-ship missile attack. First Vice Foreign Minister Park Yoon-joo said various pieces of evidence point towards Iran, adding that Seoul had not conclusively determined who was responsible. According to him, the probe looked at debris from unidentified objects that were found inside the ship after the attack on the vessel. Park said South Korea will summon the Iranian ambassador to share the results of the investigation and demand responsible measures to prevent a similar incident recurring. Still in the Middle East, the Israeli military has confirmed that the newly appointed chief of Hamas's armed wing has been killed in strikes on Gaza the day before. Hamas has not confirmed that Mohammed Odeh, who whose predecessor had already been killed in Gaza's day prior, was deceased, but eyewitnesses confirmed an attack earlier in Gaza.
There was a sudden airstrike by Israeli warplanes. It was a surprise. They hit a rooftop apartment in a building with 3 missiles, and they weren't simple missiles. They were heavy ones.
Fortunately, a missile struck my relatives, and 2 of them, Youssef and Fadi Al-Maghari, were martyred. May God have mercy on them. Jihad and Maisara were seriously injured, and an unidentified young man was also martyred.
In a statement on X, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said the army is committed to eliminating everyone who led the October 7 massacre, and that is what it will do. Elsewhere, Britain will sign a new defense and security treaty with Poland today to strengthen defense cooperation in the face of increasing hostilities across Europe. Speaking in London, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has said Poland wants the closest possible diplomatic relations with the United Kingdom, focusing on defense against Russia.
History teaches us, and geography instructs us in an exceptionally painful way, that Poland must build credible alliances, and those that will be, above all, deter potential aggressors. Alliances that will result in practical actions before a potential conflict, so as to avoid a direct threat. And such is the nature of the treaty between Poland and Great Britain. After the treaty with France, we have the one with the United Kingdom. We will call it, in connection with the place where we are signing it, the Nordhold Treaty.
Poland says its role as a hub for military aid to Ukraine has made it a key target for Russian espionage, cyber attacks, and disinformation, hence the need for security beef up.
This Polish-British cooperation is to be the core, the essence of NATO cooperation. The very important thing is, as we read both treaties, that regardless of NATO's response as a whole, we can count on both France and the United Kingdom on quick bilateral responses in case of a threat, before a decision is made by all 32 NATO members. And as you know, in today's reality, including technological reality, the speed of response is adequate reaction is something that will matter in the event of a conflict.
While Britain and Poland are already close allies, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer noted that the challenges Europe now faces demands an even stronger partnership. And now to sports, where Nuno Espirito Santo is staying at West Ham after their relegation to the Championship, and this is according to the club. The Hammers were widely expected to part company with the Portuguese manager after finishing 18th in the Premier League, but Daniel Kretinsky, the club's second largest shareholder, pushed for Nuno to stay, while David Sullivan, the largest shareholder, was more inclined to change. The West Ham Board of Directors also announced 30% reductions on season tickets next season. The Hammers are likely to be forced into selling star talent with debts of more than £100 million. And before we bring Global to an end, here's a recap of the biggest stories. I told you Vice President Kashim Shettima called on Nigerians to embrace national unity, peaceful coexistence for sustainable development under the Bola Tinubu administration. Ghanaian nationals queued at Johannesburg's O.R. Tambo International Airport today to board one of the first flights home after a wave of anti-immigrant protests in South Africa. Finally, in the news, we told U.S. President Donald Trump is set to meet with his cabinet today, a day after Secretary of State Marco Rubio implied that a ceasefire deal was in sight. And that's Globe File. Join us at 2 o'clock for more stories on the briefing on Adami Mogo 93.1 FM Lagos. I'm Ayo Adekeye.